Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Neves Mazda07, aka the Vintage Game Finder. I'm doing a little side work from the typical episodes I put up on a weekly basis. I like to call this the VGF tech section. Little by little, I'm gonna start making videos like these, just putting out there basically whatever common knowledge I know about how I upgrade and how I maintain my games and consoles, and you know, basically tips and tricks for this hobby. And some of them obviously you already know, and if you do, awesome. Some of them I might not know myself, and I'll be using my channel to go ahead and test it on an extra console or an extra controller I may have, or an extra game where I could go ahead and mess around with a ROM and solder certain points on a circuit board or something like that. You know, that kind of a thing. I wanted to go ahead and just try something different. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, posed a question to me today, and it kind of got the gears grinding on my end. She went ahead and asked me, "Dad, how come there's only a certain amount of colors for the Nintendo GameCube?" And the Nintendo GameCube happens to be one of her favorite consoles at the moment. She's really into Super Mario Sunshine and Bratz, the Nicktoons United, Pokemon, games like that. So she asked me if I could find her a pink Nintendo GameCube, and me being the dad that I am, I said, you know what, I'll find you a pink GameCube. And obviously they didn't have a pink variant from what I understand, so I'm gonna make one. So that's basically what the video is about. I'll be doing it full length, and then I'll be chopping it up and giving you the juicy bits pretty much. But this is what I'm gonna use, and that's a Phillips head screwdriver for the internals. And of course you need your Nintendo bit here with my 99-cent screwdriver, or driver in this case. These bits I got on Amazon, complete set of 3, and they work for mostly Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis carts. It's a great way to go ahead and clean those, because I take them apart completely, and I clean the ROM as best I could, and the results are always pretty good for me. So that's what I do. It's great to pick up for $8. I mean, you kind of need it in this hobby. So I got those two utensils which I'm going to be using, and then we're going to go with the paint. I am using a primer, premium enamel Vaspar primer for interior and exterior. It's the main purpose is for wood, metal, and plastic. So I'm thinking it should work on this application. So there's my primer in white. You could get them in silver also, as far as the primer goes. And this is the paint that I'll be using. Satin interior exterior from Valspar. Again, good for wood, metal, and plastic. And if you just want to make sure, it says it right here in the back. Says this premium spray gives stylish color and a flawless finish. Use on objects throughout your home. Suitable for wood, metal, plastic, ceramics, paper mache, etc. So I'll go ahead and try this out. You'll see it in the video, and we'll see how it comes out. I tried to lightly sand some of the trim pieces on the GameCube, and I came up with some scuff marks, because I know it's plastic, but it's what can I say? It's like a shiny plastic, so I want to try to see if I could get some of that shininess off, so the paint doesn't drip. But it has not been working out for me. So this is basically trial and error that I'm using, since it's my first time doing something like this on a console. So we'll go ahead and see what happens. First, I'm gonna go ahead and tear that console apart, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is my first step. I went ahead and took off the 4 security bits at the, careful not to touch that lens, at the bottom of there's 4 points at the bottom here. So I took those off, and obviously I took off the serial port cover and the other little piece that goes here, I assume. This is that part I was telling you that I tried to sand and I ended up getting some scuff marks on that. So I ahead of time I would say not to even mess with the sandpaper. What I used was a piece of 1200 grit, thinking that that might actually help, but I think it didn't help that much at all, if anything. So I'm gonna do this in sections. I'm gonna be leaving this part alone for now. I'll leave it for last because I do want to do the bottom, and I'm still not sure whether I'm gonna paint this a different color or not, so that remains to be seen. So I'm gonna set that down. The next thing that gets taken apart is this door. The buttons are gonna be taken out, and that is accessed all through these little Phillips head screws, which is where my friend Mr. Phillips comes in. He's gonna help me out, and we'll go to that step next. Okay, what I did now is I took pretty much the top portion of the console. I masked off whatever warning labels or Nintendo insignias were on there. I went ahead and did the best I could of to mask those off, because I intend to paint most of this pink, which is right here. I decided to buy Krillin Color Master because it has the paint and primer already added in. So this is basically a one shot can. So I'll be putting about 2 to 3 coats of that. Then I will be finishing off with some clear coats, which is right here. And before I even do that, I will go ahead and take off some of the grease from these plastic surfaces so the paint could adhere a little bit better. And for that I'm using low odor mineral spirits. So I'll go ahead and do that, get the paint a little less glossy, a little more dull, so we can go ahead and get a better result instead of sanding, because you don't really want to sand on plastic. I kind of learned that the hard way with 1200 grit on that little piece right there. So I'll go ahead and get that prepped up and put on the first coat, and then we'll check out the results. Okay, so I'm back. I applied I want to say about 2 light coats to the top half of the Nintendo GameCube that we started the video out on. And I've got to say, this paint is not too bad. It cost me about $3.65, and I think I'm at the halfway point of the can, which should leave me with just enough to go ahead and complete the bottom half and still have some to spare. But so far so good, and I'm very happy about it. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry overnight, take a look at it in the daylight, see if there's any areas that I hit or if it needs another coat or two, and then I'll go ahead and let that dry, and then I'll hit it up with some clear coat just to top it off and make it nice and brand new looking. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to you guys so we could go ahead and continue with our progress here on the project. I went ahead and put some of these trim pieces back on the bottom of the base here, and for the most part, let's see, let me go ahead and move it real quick. Came out alright. Like I've been doing with every other piece that I painted, I made 2 or 3 passes, then 2 or 3 passes with the clear coat, just to help prevent some of the scuffing. And even though I did that, I think I kind of messed up on the dry times, and I jumped in a little earlier than I should have. And I made a couple errors doing that, as far as leaving fingerprints or creating a scuff or two, but I tried to correct it as best as possible. Please keep in mind, this is my first time doing something like this. So it's a good thing I have extra consoles. If this works out, I'll go ahead and make, you know, different kinds, and I'll start getting a little bit more intricate as far as the steps goes. A lot of you guys are familiar with the front base plate on the Nintendo GameCube. I went ahead and I went to a craft store. The craft store in my area is called Joanne Fabrics, and I bought myself a stencil set with various letters and shapes and designs. And since this is for my daughter, I went ahead and I painted the base plate white, and went ahead and put a design there on the front of the plate. I did a couple passes in white, of course. Then I wait for it to get dry as much as possible. You probably can't see in the camera, but there's a bit of a blemish there that I was telling you about a little bit earlier, as far as it not being completely perfect, but I'm trying here, folks. So I went ahead and put the stencil on it, put a couple clips to secure it in place, then painted it on, and it looks okay. You know, it's not super awesome, but it's better than what it looked like before, I think, which is bland to me. So went ahead and covered the back plate too, where the DC goes in, the direct current plug in, and the AV out. So all that's left now is to assemble the top half. Let this dry out a little bit more, assemble it, and then you'll see the finished product and the next little shot. So I'm currently pretty happy so far about the project, and it's got me actually thinking about what future ideas I may have as far as the GameCube goes. You could do a Mario theme console, a Princess Peach, a Luigi, a Koopa if you like, a Zelda. I mean, you could even a Pikmin edition if you wanted to. The possibilities are endless, pretty much. Okay, so now that we have done the top half of the Nintendo GameCube, I'm gonna go ahead and do the 3 buttons, which is the power button, the reset button, and the open tray button, or whatever the hell it's called. And I did the same process where I cleaned off the area with my mineral spirits. And then since these buttons don't like to stand up on their own, what I did was I used just your regular run-of-the-mill Dixie cup or paper cup, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you sit them up on there. So we got one here, next one. Just put a little bit of pressure, just enough where you could be able to work the spray can around the whole area. And I already wiped these down, like I said before, with the mineral spirits. So all I have to do is set these on here, and get this one in the spot that I need to. Set them on here and get ready to paint. So I'll go ahead and make sure we get the right color. Go ahead and get started painting, and I'll go ahead and do 2 passes about 6 to 8 inches away, and maybe do 1 or 2 coats of that in white. I actually went ahead and wanted to go with white. Let's see what it is. It's a gloss white, so it's gonna pop a little bit. But after I do those 2 coats of white, I'll hit it up with 2 coats of clear, and let it dry overnight. I'll go ahead and get started on that, and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay guys, well there it is. There's the finished product. I like to say I'm very pleased with the results. This pattern here I did not do myself. My wife had an idea and she presented it to me, and I think it was an awesome idea, because I think what she was going for was a necklace, sort of what a princess would wear. You know what I'm saying, like pearls or whatever. So I'm thinking of just calling this the Princess Peach GameCube. It wasn't exactly the inspiration for why I wanted to paint it pink. It was just basically because it's my daughter's favorite color and they like it. So with the design here and the design here that she came up with, I was extremely happy with how ended up coming out. Not too bad. Would I try it again? Yes, I would. On different consoles, the wheels are turning. That little hand you see there is my daughter. She's really excited about it and she can't wait to turn it on and actually use it. But excuse me, she definitely has had her eye on it since I went ahead and finished assembly on the unit. So what other system would I try it on? Right now off the top of my head, a classic NES is not out of the question. A Saturn maybe, but anybody that's taken a Saturn apart knows that it's a little complicated with the wiring and everything, but it can be done. Dreamcast definitely, a Super Nintendo definitely. Those are just some of the consoles I'm thinking of at the top of my head. Eventually, I may want to go ahead and try my hand at those, but there is a couple blemishes that I noticed, but maybe somebody that hasn't painted one before probably won't notice them. So but altogether, not bad. I would recommend you doing this on a weekend if you have the time, just to make it a little unique. That's all. So thanks for watching. I'll list the steps that I made in the description, more or less, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, rate, like, subscribe. You know, the usual jargon you get on YouTube videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.